All right, so guys, UFC Fight Night Volkov versus Aspinall is this weekend, and we're here to preview the card. We're starting with the main event: Alexander Volkov versus Tom Aspinall. What do you guys think about this fight?
Go for it, Dermer.
I tentatively like Volkov. Um, I feel like I'm just in general. I kind of go towards the guy who's faced the better people and is like a little more proven. And I don't know. I think Volkov is just better. Like his last win over Tabora was pretty impressive. His loss to Gan, I mean, how you gonna blame him? Like it's Cyril Gan, one touch of Cyril Gan. And I just don't think Aspinall is gonna get to. I don't know. I don't think he has much for Volkov. I think Volkov keeps the distance on the feet. I think Volkov is a good enough grappler that he's not gonna get thrown around. I don't know. I like Volkov. I think he's more tested. I think he's a better fighter. I think he just gets it done.
Well, I just think Volkov. I have Volkov here, but it's not going to be easy. The line's almost even money for a reason because one, Tom Aspinall might have the best pure boxing in the division. He does work with Tyson Fury, and he has real knockout power. Insanely fast hands there for the division. He's no slouch on the ground either. He's got quite a few submissions on his record, so he's a pretty well balanced mixed martial artist here. But he's not fighting against Alexander Volkov. He's fighting against Alexander Swolkov. This
Damn.
man who was like if Stefan Struve wasn't a disappointment here. Though Stefan Struve, to be fair, he's got a lot of second records.
Maybe Stipe.
Yes, Seven Shrews knocked out Stipe, I believe.
Who Stipe's some loser. Who cares?
Damn.
So his win over Martin Tabora wasn't that impressive. He should have looked a lot better, but he did clearly win. Cyril
Tabora's
Gane, he
pretty good.
probably gave Gane his toughest fight. Actual fight, let's be real, and Gane just laid on Cyril Gane for 3 rounds and called it a day. He
I mean,
destroyed
Ngannou
Overeem. He
Ngannou got the
destroyed
win, but
Walt
Volkov
Harris.
landed the most shots on Gan.
He destroyed Overeem. He destroyed Harris. Curtis Blades was actually gassed at the end of the fight there. Volkov was fresh at the end of his fight getting wrestle fucked. And he,
Yeah, I mean Curtis Blades just threw him around though.
Yeah, like a sack of
led to very
potatoes.
gassing at the end of it there, you know? If that had gone on a little bit
Curtis Blades
longer.
said after that, like Volkov put up like a shitload of resistance. He was making it really hard for him. He said.
And so he also, Greg Hardy, he probably should have knocked Hardy out, but whatever. Derek Lewis, he was winning that fight until the last second. So he's
That was
honestly,
kind of retarded.
he's more well proven. I just worry that Tom Aspinall might be really good with the boxing, but I think that Volkov might be, top 3 strikers in the division. But we'll see if Aspinall will change that.
Yeah, I like Aspinall a lot here actually. I think he's going to be a lot faster than Volkov. You're written down with the power. He has he's really fast, and he also has the power. He also has the footwork. He's like a lot faster than a lot of heavyweights. I mean, he's not exactly like Cyril Gane, but he definitely gives me shades of Cyril Gane with the movement and the speed. Like we're saying, he's training with Tyson Fury. I mean, if your boxing isn't good, if you're training with Tyson Fury, I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, I don't know. I just like the speed. I think this fight's going to go similar to the Volkov versus Cyril Gane fight, where Gane just kind of stayed on the outside, used his speed to pop at him, get the better shots, and yeah, just wear him down like that. Yeah, I'm in on Aspinall as a prospect.
I don't see Aspinall doing the jab on Volkov. Volkov's a much longer fighter. He has the jab. If anything, he has his not leg kicks, his teeps and his. Well, I guess all leg
Yeah,
kicks are.
well, no, Volkov has that little lead leg kick that he uses a lot. Actually, it's pretty nice.
He's really good.
Volkov's very good with range. He's very good at keeping distance. I think Aspinall's going to struggle getting in on him. I think Volkov's going to just poke at him from a distance and keep him off him.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if Aspinall. With Aspinall, I could see him being really good at getting on the inside. Is the thing, that's a key part of boxing. So I could see him
I mean,
trying to do
I
that.
feel that he's definitely going to get inside here and there. I think Volkov will be able to kind of deal with that. He'll be able to shoulder roll, cover up, deal with the little pressure of Aspinall, then get it back to a range where he can just poke at him for a few more minutes.
I think one other thing is that can Tom Aspinall go for 5 rounds? We had that with Volkov easy. So
That's true. Volkov can go for fucking 6 rounds.
yeah, so
He's a proven commodity.
now I
Yeah,
don't.
Volkov is more proven for sure. Like he has the 5 round experience, like I said. But I'm just in on Tom Aspinall as the prospect. I think he's top 5. I think he'll be challenging for the title pretty soon, actually. So I'm just in on the hype train.
All right, final thoughts then. I got
Wait. Before we go for that,
Oh
there, I
yeah.
mean, Tom Aspinall, I think he's a good pick, especially for the value. If anything, I think he's going to win by knockout. I don't see him submitting. I don't see him doing that. I don't know if he's going to be in title contention because it's too, what's the word? Not convoluted, crowded at the top. So,
Yeah, it's kind of crowded on top.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Aspinall. I do think Aspinall not by knockout. Aspinall knocks him out.
Volkov by decision probably, but I just have him straight up.
Yeah, Volkov money is too attractive to pass up. Isn't it like plus 110 on DK?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not fucking with the props in this fight. I like Aspinall straight up. But
Yeah, I like Volkov money line plus 110. You just give me all that.
all right. Second fight we have Arnold Allen versus Dan Hooker. Pretty good fight. Featherweight. What do you guys think?
To me, this fight all comes down to what does Dan Hooker look like at 145? That's really what this comes, because first and foremost, let me give some respect to Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen may very well be a future champion in this division here. You know,
And
Volkov is quaking in his boots. Max Holloway, more like Lax Holloway. And
Damn.
so when it comes to Arnold Allen, the main thing I struggle with him is just his cardio, to be honest. He doesn't have bad cardio, but he was struggling a little bit against Sadiq Youssef in his last fight near the third round there. He's a very well-rounded fighter, to say the very least. But if you know anything about Dan Hooker, you could say the same thing about Dan Hooker, who's fought much harder competition than him. You know, Dustin Poirier got saved by the bell from him, and then Michael Chandler got lucky, one-shot him. Islam easily ragdolled him. But he's tough. He'll take you to a battle. So I just don't know how Dan Hooker is going to look like at 145 is the main thing for me.
Yeah, I think the weight class shift is definitely a huge factor here, right? Because Dan Hooker at lightweight was already huge. Like the dude is gigantic. So now he's expected to lose another 10 pounds, which probably means he has to lose like some muscle for sure. I just think that weight cut's going to be tough. And I also think that I don't know. I like Arnold Allen a lot in this because I think he's the faster fighter. He does hit hard. I like his footwork, whereas I feel like Dan Hooker's very stationary. I feel he kind of plods. He doesn't really move his head. I think he's there to be hit. I like Arnold Allen a lot in this fight. What do you think, Dermer?
I kind of agree with Lorenzo where it's like let's see how Dan Hooker is looking good at 145. I think this is kind of his fight to lose. I think he is. I think he has the skills to beat Arnold Allen. I think that he has the takedown defense to keep it on the feet, and I think on the feet he's just a cleaner, better striker than Arnold Allen.
I actually disagree with that. I think Arnold Allen is faster. I like his footwork more. I don't know, like I was saying, Dan Hooker has a tendency to not move his head, and I feel like his footwork is not that good.
I kind of agree with that, but on the other hand, like he's very accurate with his striking, and he does a good job of getting his shots off. Like if you're not like he does, I mean, I feel like our perception is like when he fights people who aren't like literally the best guys in the division, like he tends to do pretty well. Like, and I don't know, maybe it's just a disc. Like I think, like Lorenzo said, he sees Arnold Allen as like a future champ. I don't see Arnold Allen that way. I think Arnold Allen's really good, but I see him right around like the Dan Hooker level, and maybe like I don't know, like fringe top 5, lower top 6 guy, and I don't know. I think if Hooker looks like he does at 155, I think he should get it done against. I think he'll keep it on the feet for the most part, and I think he just out volumes
Um,
Allen.
I mean, I don't know if Hooker's chin will be retained at 145. Hooker has a pretty good chin, all things considered. But at 145, it's only going to get weaker. Now, I don't think Arnold Allen really has that much power, to be perfectly honest. But will his cardio get weaker? Will his chin get weaker there? Um, I stayed away from this fight, but if I had a gun to my head, I'd probably pick Arnold Allen over Dan Hooker here.
Yeah, I just feel like the move down to 145, I just think it's a bad idea for Dan Hooker. I don't understand the logic of it. I feel like guys down there are as skilled, if not even more skilled than I feel like at 155. We kind of saw this with Edson Barboza, where he moved down, but he's still getting ragdolled by guys, and he's still like getting outstruck by guys. It's not like the fights are any easier for these 155ers. And I think it's going to be the same here. I think I actually think Arnold Allen's going to knock him out. I feel like the weight cut's going to be a big factor here, and I do think Arnold Allen does have power. He because he has knockdowns against guys. He just doesn't finish the job, but I think he could finish it against Dan Hooker.
I mean, one thing to consider, Dan Hooker's record at 145 isn't that great. That was, of course, years ago, but,
Yeah, he started his career off at lightweight or at featherweight, right?
He also lost to Jason Knight, so.
Yeah, bad. He fought Yair Rodriguez. It's kind of
Well,
funny.
I mean, he loses to Yair, no shame in that, but losing to Jason Knight, he's good in bare knuckle, but not necessarily in MMA, so.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I kind of just want to stay away from this because I'm like Arnold Allen is really good, and Hooker kind of has a tendency to fuck up here and there,
Well,
and just shit the bed once in a while. So
well, I don't know about Hooker. Just likes to go to war, but he will fight smart when he needs to, like he did against Nasrat.
but I just like his fighting. I feel like that's more against lower level competition. When he fights, he doesn't have that smart fight against the best guys. So now that I think about it, I'm like, I might throw a couple units on Hooker, but I'm not super confident in that pick. The more I think about it,
Arnold Allen, if I had a gun to my head, but I'm not betting on this fight.
Yeah. I think Arnold Allen takes him out.
Gun to my head, Dan Hooker, but I don't know if I'll bet money on it.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. Moving down, I think it's Paddy Pimblett versus Rodrigo Vargas.
Yes.
What do you guys think about that?
I mean, they're trying to build Paddy Pimblett, and it's basically as simple as that. I don't know much. Sorry about that. I don't know much about Rodrigo Vargas. I just know that Paddy Pimblett, Dermer isn't Paddy Pimblett hater. He's just afraid that this guy, Paddy, is gonna outshine McGregor because he's a baddie.
Oh god.
But he has pretty decent striking. He proved that. Like, it was wide, but it was to make a statement, right? More so than to be super technical. His ground game is really where he excels here.
Oh god.
So I'd see Paddy Pimblett beating Rodrigo Vargas. That may be more of an ignorant pick due to not knowing Rodrigo Vargas very well. His best win is Zhu Rong, and Zhu Rong's all right from what little I've seen him. I remember him for losing to Ignacio Bahamundes last time. And that's about it.
I mean, it's hard not to pick. It's hard not to pick Paddy Pimblett here. I mean, because if you look at Rodrigo Vargas's record, it seems he's basically the guy that the UFC puts against people that they want to get over. So, I mean, even if you look at all his fights, right? Like Alex da Silva, prospect, I think he's like 21-3. So they put him against him, and then Brock Weaver coming out of the Contender Series, they kind of want to build him as well. He didn't really pan out.
Weaver's horrible. He's
Brock Weaver is really bad. I mean, because Rodrigo Vargas basically won that fight. He just got DQ'd. And then Zhu Rong, they wanted to build Zhu Rong, but Rodrigo Vargas upset the apple cart there. So, I mean, clearly he's like the guy that the UFC wants to put their prospects against. And I think so he's a ground fighter, which is kind of where. Wait, no, he's not a ground fighter.
Yeah, he's known for his like slick jujitsu. Oh
Okay.
No, you're talking about Rodrigo Vargas.
Yeah, right, Rodrigo Vargas. Yeah, so he's a stand-up fighter. So I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick Vargas, right? Like, I mean, I could probably see like Paddy's taking him down and submitting him. That seems like
All right.
the most likely option.
Is it my turn? I got some
Yeah.
cold fucking takes here. Um,
Yep.
all right. I will if I was gonna bet money on this fight, I would bet Rodrigo Vargas. Just due to the fact that Paddy Pimblett, the line is so inflated. Paddy Pimblett is not that good. His striking is not very good. His ground game, where he supposedly excels, is all right, but like he fights at lightweight. Like there's 15 guys with a better ground game at lightweight. Um,
I don't know if you can make a list that big.
Yeah.
that
Probably
could be
not.
a video topic. But I could definitely try, and I think I get pretty far. I really don't even think he's in the top like fucking 40 lightweight fighters right now in the UFC, and in MMA he's probably in top. He's probably in the top 40 of MMA. If I'm being perfectly honest, like there's a ton of guys in Bellator who smoke him. There's a ton of guys in one who probably smoke him. I really think he's like super overhyped.
Are
And
is he
I
talking
think
about Paddy or
I
is he
think
talking about Conor McGregor here?
yeah, but I don't think he's that good. I think he'll be
He has good
exposed
chin.
sooner. I think he'll be exposed sooner rather than later. I don't know if this is the fight for it to happen because I do think he will win this one. But like I'm not betting on Paddy Pimblett, bro, especially at minus 430. Like he's kind of mid. Like everyone's hyping him up. He's a great personality, but like in the cage, like he's never really impressed me.
Hey, you've seen only one of his fights, haven't you?
I watch his skateboarder fights. I don't think he's that good. I don't know. I don't
He
know, bro.
beat,
I don't know.
he
If it's
beat
just I don't
UFC
know.
talent before they were in the UFC, like Julian Rosa.
Yeah, and he beat Luigi Vander. That was the Indies. I'm sorry, I'm retarded. But um, I don't know. I don't see it. I think he'll be exposed sooner rather than later. I think his striking is sloppy. His defense is suspect. I think his jujitsu is offensively it's pretty good, but defensively I'm not impressed. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see what everybody else sees with Paddy. I just think his game has so much to be desired, and his personality far outshines his fighting ability. And sooner rather than later, he will be exposed and beaten by somebody who's not very good. And is Rodrigo Vargas the guy? Maybe. All I know is minus 430 for Paddy's way too fucking high. Like I could totally see a world where he gets sloppy and Rodrigo Vargas just taps him. I could totally see that happening. So if I might throw a unit on Rodrigo just to be a real Paddy hater. I don't even think I'm a Paddy hater as much as I'm a Paddy realist. Like he's not that good, and I don't know. I don't know if this is the fight to prove it, but I definitely won't put the cent on him.
I
Minus
think
four, crazy.
that's a very long way to say that you still think Paddy wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think he wins.
I don't even know
Kinda
about
like
that.
if you're playing the lines, though, it's like, yeah, I
If you're
agree.
playing
Like,
the lines, like Vargas isn't Vargas plus 410 on DK right now.
yeah, that's just
That's
tough.
juicy.
Because
That's
even
juicy.
against Venturmini, like, I mean, yeah, he got hit. I mean, he has a good chin. He weathered it, and then he came back. But I mean, if you're getting hit by Luigi Venturmini, you probably shouldn't be a minus 575 favorite against anybody.
I think part of it is that he wanted to make a statement when he came into it by not being a quote unquote grappler fighter and by being really exciting, And that
Yeah.
got people talking about it there. Imagine he comes in and does a 3-round grappling fest where he's just barely out grappling Venturmini. And Venturmini isn't a bad fighter. Not at all. Is he the best? No, but he's not a bad fighter. Definitely UFC caliber. Not ranked, but still UFC caliber. So.
Yeah, but this is the one where, like, kind of like similar to what I thought about, like, Chris Moutinho, the last card, where I just feel like the public gets behind some of these fighters and they just bet the shit out of them, and that kind of swings the line towards them in like a way that's like it doesn't not really reflective of what the true odds are. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about this fight. Like, there's no way Paddy Pimblett should be minus 575 against anybody in the UFC. I don't think. So I do think Paddy Pimblett wins, but should he be that big of a favorite? No.
So, all right, we're all team Paddy the baddie then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Paddy
I'm team 50-50, bro. I really don't know. It should probably be minus like 200, but if playing the Lions, Rodrigo's the obvious pick.
Or bet Rodrigo via KO. That's probably like plus 700.
Let me see.
All right.
Bro, if you can prop on FanDuel, I will do it.
So
We go submission.
Molly McCann versus Luana Carolina. I could take over this unless you guys have something to say about
yeah,
this
go
fight.
for it.
You probably have the most to say, so you can do the main thing, and we can.
Well, let's see if you
later.
guys have anything to add here. So
If you
first,
cover everything before it.
Molly McCann. Let's acknowledge the obvious, the greatest nickname in combat sports, Meatball.
I
And
think it's
then you have Luana Carolina. Now, Luana Carolina, the main thing that really stood out to me, there's a few, is that I know her most from her Lupi Godinez win, where Lupi fought up a weight class in about 7 days. And she did win that fight, but man, did Luana look really, really bad in that fight. Fighting against somebody much lighter on such short notice, you should win that pretty handily there. And she just looked bad. Honestly, she was lucky that she was so much bigger than this other person. And honestly, if you lose to Ariana Lipsky, who she's all right, but might be mean to say. I don't think she's UFC caliber of a fighter, unfortunately. If you lose to that person there, then I don't have much for your future there. Molly McCann has good wrestling. She has good hands there. And I think she'll just come forward and pressure her. And then I think she has better wrestling than, what's her face? What's her name? Luana Carolina there. And honestly, the fact that she went against Talia Santos, and she did lose that fight, but I have major respect for anybody who doesn't get knocked out by Talia Santos there. Because, oh man, I pegged that one from the start, a contender. So I think Molly Meatball McCann is the smart money here. So yeah.
This one's tough. I mean, if you do the MMA math, so Molly McCann beat Ariane Lipsky, who beat Luana Carolina. So based on that, you gotta like Molly. But I don't know. I think both fighters aren't very impressive to me, and I think in general with like women's MMA, I feel like these fights are like really close, just because. I don't know, like like very few women like kind of stand out above the rest, and I feel like everyone else is just kind of like there. So it's hard for me to really peg a favorite in this fight.
They're pretty much
odds. I mean, I think Molly's the favorite for Arena. Luana's not super impressive, but again, like given the nature of women's MMA, who fucking knows? You know, it's like I think the best thing you can do is bet on a decision at this point.
Molly McCann will finish Luana
All right.
Carolina.
There we
I
go.
don't know about that.
All right, next fight we have Jai Herbert versus Ilia Topuria at 155 because Ilia Topuria cannot cut to 145 anymore. Apparently, didn't he have he pulled out his last fight because he like literally died during weight cutting? I believe.
Wait. I thought that Jai Herbert was dropping down to 145.
No, this is at 155, right?
I'm pretty sure that we need to double check that because I could have sworn it was the opposite. Let me check.
I didn't know Ilia was going up.
It says lightweight on Google.
Wait, let me check this on Wikipedia. Maybe. Well,
Maybe because Ilia's on short notice and he can't make the weight.
No, I'm pretty sure this is at 150. I'm pretty sure Ilia's moving up because he can't make 155 or 145.
Okay. Well, that's what Google says, so we'll go with Google then. All right, go for it, Josh.
I mean, yeah, I kind of like Ilia Topuria is a really good prospect for sure. His striking looked really good against Damon Jackson. Knocked him out with one punch, and then he knocked out Ryan Hall, but that was kind of a dumb fight, and Ryan Hall's kind of a jackass. So I think like I understand the hype with Topuria because I think his striking is kind of like his plan B or like his second best aspect of his fight. Cause I think he's a jiu-jitsu fighter or like has a jiu-jitsu background. So if he's that good at striking, then his jiu-jitsu must be really good. And I think Jai Herbert has shown that he has a weakness against grapplers, right? Like Hinata Moicano kind of threw him around and submitted him. That being said, I mean, he is a pretty heavy favorite, and I think it's kind of tough to put that much faith in Topuria just because it's a new weight division. He's moving up. Jai Herbert's going to have a lot of physical attributes over him. He's 6'1". Ilia Topuria is 5'7". He's going to have an 8-inch reach advantage. So, on the feet, it could get ugly. But if Topuria could get it to the ground, then you have to like Topuria's chances.
I don't think Topuria will have much trouble getting it to the ground. I don't think it will be like easy or anything, but I don't think Herbert is. I don't think Herbert's good enough to keep him off him. I think Ilia is really good. Ilia's really good at getting really good at mixing up the striking with the grappling, level changes, feints, all that bullshit. Like he's a complete fighter. I just don't think Jai has the skills to deal with it. Even if Jai can keep his range on the feet and keep Ilia off him, I just only think it's a matter of time before Ilia gets him into a clinch and trips him up, or just shoots on him and grabs a double leg and gets him on his ass. And then once that happens, it's Ilia all day. I don't think Herbert's going to be getting up.
So I think that I'm kind of the mindset here that as opposed to Dan Hooker moving down in weight, I actually like when fighters move up in weight, especially if they had a lot of trouble in the previous weight class division there. So I think that he's probably going to look even better in this division here. Now, obviously, there's the adjustment to power that does have to be done there, but his jiu-jitsu's out of this world here. And who knows how much power Ilia Topuria is going to bring to this division as well here. And he's already aiming for a fight with Paddy the Baddie here. If you kept up with the news that happened earlier this day.
True.
He'll destroy Paddy.
So I think I could see Ilia Topuria getting better. It does worry me a little bit that those attributes. I didn't realize he had that much of a disadvantage in the attributes.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
He's short. He's not like tall though, is he?
No, but Jai Herbert is taller than him.
Jai Herbert.
Yeah.
6'1".
Oh, okay, yeah. And Ilia's like 5'7", yeah.
The 8-inch reach advantage too is pretty insane.
Yeah.
But
is it 8? It's 6. No, 6.
No,
you said he's 6'1" or 6'3"?
We're talking about reach advantage.
Oh, reach. He has a 77-inch reach. Jesus.
So the main thing why I say with maybe Ilia Topuria is essentially the Moicano fight again. Now Moicano is a big boy, but he also fought at 145, so I could see it being very similar. Though Jai Herbert knocking out Kama-Worthy, Kama-Worthy is an iffy person, but still,
Kama-Worthy, okay. He's kind of a get in there and brawl kind of guy.
Yeah, I think Topuria is a smart money, but he's a little too heavy on the odds. But I'm still going to parlay him.
I agree completely. He's a little bit too juiced, but I'm still going to parlay him because I have a lot of confidence. So,
yeah. I mean, I like Topuria, but I'm probably going to stay away. Jai Herbert's dangerous, especially in the first round, especially on range. So stay away from me, but yeah. All right, moving on. What do we have? Shamil Abdurakhimov versus Sergei Pavlovich. So I think Sergei Pavlovich. Sorry, what?
Oh, I was going to say, I don't have strong feelings, so you guys have fun with this one.
Yeah, so I think Sergei Pavlovich, I think, is a very good prospect in the heavyweight division. So if you look, he hasn't fought in like 2.5 years, which kind of why I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about him. But if you look at his UFC career up to this point, so he came into UFC 11-0, and they put him up against Alistair Overeem, which was the number 6 fighter at the time, which kind of just lets you know that how much of a prospect he is and how much the UFC, like how highly they thought of him, right? Now, he did end up losing in that fight. He got knocked out by ground and pound, but, it was Alistair Overeem, a really good striker. Sergei Pavlovich is also mainly a striker. And then in his next 2 fights, he knocked out his opponents in the first round. I just think he's really athletic for heavyweight. Like if you just look at his body, like it's like an athletic heavyweight body, which you can't really say about a lot of heavyweights. A lot of them are just are fat. All right, let's call spade a spade. And I think that Shamil's kind of like that in a way. And Shamil, he's been knocked out by Krylov Christakis in his last fight, lost to Curtis Blades, lost to Derek Lewis. So I mean, those aren't losses to be ashamed of, but I just feel like Sergei Pavlovich is going to be faster. He's going to have the better striking, and I think it's going to go similar to the Dawkins fight, where he just uses his speed to knock out Shamil. What do you think, Lorenzo?
I mean, I think I have a really good assessment of pretty much all of them. I think the things that give me pause for Sergei Pavlovich is one, I'll be honest, I don't really remember him too much there. It's been 2.5 years. I don't check those other things, but his wins in the UFC are against really low level competition. Like really low level competition there. Like beating Maurice Green and Marcelo Golm. Marcelo Golm was on a 3-fight losing streak at that point, or 2-fight losing streak. So not the best competition. And Maurice Green, again, not the best competition again. So I think Shamil is, he's obviously from Dagestani. He's the one person you don't want to fight in the heavyweight division because you're probably going to get a really boring fight out of him. And he could just kind of wrestle you as much as he can. Now, did Chris Dukakis knock him out? Yeah. Did Curtis Blades beat him? Yeah, but those are top tier competitions there. He also beat Tabor and Arlovsky not too long ago. I think that he is more proven. The only thing that gives me hesitant is his age. He is 40, and it has been a few months since his last fight there. I just don't know enough about Sergei Pavlovich. Is he like a master of sport or anything? What's his base?
Probably Sambo. I mean, he sounds very, very Russian. Yeah, he's a international master sport in kickboxing and wushu sanda, which
No,
is
Sanda's different than Sambo.
yeah.
Yeah, but apparently he has some training in Sambo, but he's not a master of sport.
Oh wait, no, that's Shamil. I fucked up. I'm retarded. Wait, let me go to Sergei Pavlovich.
He's competed.
Background is combat sambo, but I don't see any
He's not
accolades.
master of sport, yeah. So I think that Sergei probably is the smarter money here, in all honesty. But Shamil shouldn't be underestimated by any means. Plus 240, I could see him making this a really boring fight. I could see him being like the underdog of the night. If you want like the best odds here for the greatest value. Because probably him by decision will probably be like plus 400. So, yeah, but I think Sergei Pavlovich is still the smarter money.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to stop takedowns. Also, he also has a 8-inch reach advantage on Shamil, which is not to be underestimated, obviously. So yeah, I like Sergei here for sure. I think he's also another pretty interesting heavyweight prospect, which there's actually a lot of, which is kind of good for that division. But here we go. Next we have, what do we have?
Paul Craig.
Nikita Krylov versus Paul Craig. What do you guys think about that?
This should be fun. I'm very back and forth on this one. Because on one hand, like Nikita Krylov is very, very good. On the other hand, like Paul Craig just finds a way to be getting it done sometimes. Like, I don't know. Like, looking back at Krylov, like he only seems to lose to the best guys in the division. Like he lost to Blachowicz in the Polish power streak, and then he lost to Glover Teixeira, which was close if I remember. And then he lost to Magomed Ankalaev, who's probably getting a title shot. So he tends to only lose to guys who are, the top of the division. On the other hand, like there's something about Paul Craig. I don't know what, and I don't know what it is. Like he always seems to get it done lately, especially lately. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's that triangle choke on Ankalaev from like fucking 4 years ago that I'm still thinking about, but I'm pretty high on Paul Craig, and he's been on a streak lately. If I think hasn't lost in a while. Yeah, he hasn't lost since June 2019. Damn. I don't know. I'm fucking with Paul Craig in this as a dog, especially the dog. Considering he's plus 142, I gotta play the lines.
I am Paul Craig all day. I think Paul Craig is a really underrated fighter. I think he gives a lot more trouble than people realize too. If you challenge, I think he's better than Krylov on the ground, to be honest. There, I think if
Yes.
they get into a scramble and if they actually do go to the ground, Krylov is obviously very good on the ground, but you don't want to mess with Craig on the ground instead. And on the feet, Krylov probably is a little bit better, but I could see Paul Craig taking it to him as well. Yeah, I just like Paul Craig as a dog, mainly because of his submission abilities here. And plus, he's from Scotland. It's close enough to his hometown, so, we'll go with Paul Craig. And he beat Jamal Hill, and Magomed Ankalaev, so let's go Paul Craig.
Yeah, Paul Craig is
I'm gonna disagree with you guys a lot. I like Nikita Krylov a lot in this fight. I agree. The Paul Craig, so the Jamal Hill fight was probably his best win. That was a really good performance by Paul Craig, where he pulled guard and ended up breaking Jamal Hill's arm, which is a good fight, I'll admit. But I mean, he beat Ankalaev, but I mean, let's be real, that was a fluke. It was a miracle triangle that he threw up. Otherwise, he was getting dominated during the fight. Ankalaev, if he didn't tap, would have won the decision pretty clearly. And if you look at Krylov's record, he had a very competitive fight against Ankalaev, where, he stuffed a lot of takedowns and beat him in the first round, outstriking him, which tells me a lot. And then against Glover Teixeira, it was a split decision loss. It was a very close fight. They were pretty much even on the ground, which again tells me a lot about Nikita Krylov's grappling. I think Nikita Krylov is a better grappler than Paul Craig. And I think he's a better striker as well. So, Paul Craig does have a way of finding these wins like out of nowhere, especially as an underdog. I just think that Krylov is better than Paul Craig in every aspect, though. So I like Krylov in this fight.
Yeah, and I think that Magomed Ankalaev is better than him in every way, and so is Jamal Hill probably. And
yeah,
Paul Craig.
I was gonna say Paul Craig is interesting in that, like, I feel like Krylov beats him in almost every aspect, but like he's just has this way of pulling these submissions out of nowhere on you. But on the other hand, like Josh said, like Krylov had a close fight with Glover, didn't get tapped out. Went the decision with Ankalaev, that was pretty close. I mean, but he got tapped out by Jan Blachowicz. Like that's, I don't know.
Krylov is the smart money, but my heart's with Paul Craig.
Maybe he got tapped out by Mr. Serkinov too. I don't know. He has a tendency to get caught in submissions, and Paul Craig has a tendency to grab submissions. I like Craig as a live dog, and Craig by submission at plus 420 is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's true. Plus 5 of his 8 losses are via submission. So that was earlier in his career, but still.
2 of them weren't.
Cool. Yeah, I'll probably go with Krylov by decision, I'll say, but I'll just take him in line straight up.
Yeah.
Parlay piece or straight bet?
Parlay.
Nice.
Yeah, we can talk about it later.
That might be a parlay buster. Wow.
Yeah, Jack Shore and Timur Valiev.
Yeah, Jack Shore and Timur Valiev. What do you guys think?
I
think they're both prospects, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just
which is weird that they're fighting each other.
I think Jack Shore is the underdog slightly at the moment here.
Yes.
As he probably should be, in all honesty, against Timur Valiev. I think the problem with Timur Valiev is he lost to Trevin Jones, and I got really high in Trevin Jones, and Trevin Jones just isn't that good. So
yes.
Really? I thought Trevin Jones is pretty good. I mean, he lost to Javid, right? But like Javid, I'm pretty high on as well. And I thought Trevin Jones looked pretty good in that fight.
But he got tapped out in his fight before that too by some fucking like nobody. I mean, his last fight was like very solid. It was a win over Barcelos, who is a respectable bantamweight.
I feel like that win is kind of not aging well because we also saw Victor Henry just tune up Barcelos for 3 rounds.
That's also very true, but like at the time, like Barcelos was a respectable bantamweight.
I mean, he still is a respectable bantamweight. You guys aren't giving Victor Henry enough respect.
Okay, maybe that's true too. Maybe we're just not giving Victor Henry any respect. But yeah, I mean the Barcelos fight was impressive enough. He got the job done. I don't know. Jack Shore's been very solid. I don't. It's just weird. Like we haven't seen him against like the kind of people. But have we? I guess have we really seen Valiev against like top tier competition either? Like
Yeah, I mean, none of these guys have. That's kind of what it is being unranked.
I like Jack Shore as a dog. Just consider all things considering. Like I mean, the loss of Trevin Jones is kind of an enemy, and then I
I
don't know.
mean,
I like
I
Jack
don't
Shore.
know why I feel this way. I just like Jack Shore at plus 106. I'm feeling Jack Shore at plus 106.
I also like Jack Shore. I think he fights at a really high pace. He's like a grinder when it comes to the grappling. And I think the way I see this fight going is I think Jack Shore is just going to grind on him with grappling, push him against the cage, make it his fight. Because this is kind of like a striker versus grappler type of matchup. And I have to favor the grappler here in Jack Shore. I think he has better cardio. He's going to weaponize that and probably just wear down Timur as the fight goes on. So
Jack Shore
Jack-
for all three of us.
yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think Timur's going to put up some substantial resistance in the grappling, but I could definitely see a world where he just kind of gets like held on the fence and elbowed. But Timur's good. Timur's. I
Yeah.
think he's a master. I think he does sambo. Yeah, he's a master of sport in sambo, so he's not going to just get held there easily.
All right.
Corey
Good
wins. Then are we doing Wood versus Morales?
Yeah, let's talk about that one. Nathaniel Wood versus Vince Morales. What do you think?
I mean, Wood's rightly a substantial favorite. She should. Like, I don't think there's too much to say. He should win.
Why?
Like, he should win.
I don't know. Like, what's so good about Nathaniel Wood?
You're the one who's so high on him. This is all you. This is your time to shine.
Oh no, he's asking you to justify it. You did choose Nathaniel Wood, so
I didn't pick Nathaniel Wood.
no, Dermer chose Nathaniel Wood.
Like, why do I think he's gonna win? Because he's
Yeah.
better. Because he's better at fighting. It's mostly a mix of like Vince Morales is not all that impressive to me. If I remember his last fight correctly, it was Louis Smolka, and it's fucking Louis Smolka. Like it's Louis Smolka. There's what else is like Louis? Maybe 6 years ago that's a good win, but I mean now, even 6 years ago, like Louis Smolka was never. Yeah, okay,
He
that's
beat
what I thought.
Rodriguez. That's a pretty good win.
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of like
I don't know.
All these guys are prospects, right? Like, who's the best win Nathaniel Wood's ever had? Like John Castronada, you know?
Nathaniel Wood.
I feel like it's because I've seen more of Vince Morales, and I've seen more of his fights and him like just be mid, whereas Nathaniel Wood is more of that prospect that I've heard about and seen less of, and I've seen like only bits of like I feel like I've probably only seen like better of Nathaniel Wood than I have of. Because I've only seen a couple Nathaniel Wood fights. I remember the Casey Kenny fight was like that was so long ago though. Jesus, that was
Casey Kenny fight was very competitive.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying he was really competitive with Casey Kenny, and Casey Kenny's good. I think he's better than anybody that Vince Morales has beaten for sure. And then he hasn't fought in a long time. That's the only thing that concerns me about Nathaniel Wood is it's been a while. But like realistically speaking, like he's got decent power. And I don't know. Morales is like he's just not that good. Like I think Nathaniel Wood just kind of beats him however he wants to. He has a good pace. He doesn't get hit too much, and I think he just kind of goes in there and beats Morales down.
So I think Nathaniel Wood is rightfully the favorite. His fight versus Casey Kenny was very competitive. And when it came to the later rounds, Nathaniel Wood was actually putting it on Casey Kenny near the end. He was doing really, really well in just the striking, and Casey Kenny was mixing up the takedowns and such and trying to beat Nathaniel Wood that way. And still, Nathaniel Wood managed to outstrike him for the majority of the fight there. But I have one.
Some people scored it for Wood in the media too.
Well, I got one bit of hesitation. I'm actually dropping the link. You maybe put this in the video here, but if you guys could click on that link there in Discord, this is my one hesitation with Nathaniel Wood. Do you see it?
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
god.
He's so vascular. Like, he's dry as bone. Like, I don't even know how he's going to make the scale. And he has 3 more days at the time of recording this.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. That's where I'm like, at that point, will he even make it to the scale?
It seems like he knows what he's doing. He's done it before.
But that looks so horrible. Like,
Jesus Christ! Look at some of the fucking old Max and Connor on the scale. Like they look like fucking. They could be in commercials.
no,
For
this
feet.
is really no. What?
Yeah, this is different.
No,
This is different.
Oh, I know it's
He's
different, but I'm just saying
dry.
like. I know, but I'm just saying like he's had 22 fucking fights. Like I'm pretty sure he's.
No, but he's dry but not skinny is the main difference, right? That's clearly dry. Am I
Yeah, no,
crazy?
I'm not saying it's not fucked up. I'm just saying like. I'm assuming that this isn't some kind of new development that's happened to his body. I'm assuming he's dealt with this for his life, so this is just his body.
I don't know. I think this is one where maybe you want to wait till the weigh-ins to see how they look.
I mean, I'm not betting on this fight. I just think Nathaniel Wood is better and he should win. I just like I'm not gonna bet. I think he should be able to just outpace and outpressure Morales and just walk him down and kind of just beat him up.
I think Nathaniel would be a good parlay piece, but I don't want to bet him till I see the weigh-ins. Because that really put me off of him, because a bad weight cut can really screw you over. So, what do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I don't so I do get why Wood is the favorite. He has a really high volume, which I like, which should be very good against Vince Morales. But at minus 310, I just don't like the price. So this is a pass for me, but yeah, probably Nathaniel Wood wins, but I don't know. I'm not particularly impressed by him, to be honest.
Oh,
With a
one of you guys said you were high on him. Maybe it was you, Lorenzo.
What's up?
I think one of you guys earlier said you were high on him. Maybe it was you, Lorenzo.
I think he's a good prospect. I don't know if I say I'm high on him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm high in the next fight, which we can go on if
Yeah,
we
so
all.
Muhammad Mokaev versus Cody Durden.
Mohamed Mokaev. So let me
Oh, yeah,
let me
all
just
you.
talk about this man for like 5 seconds here. If our 1 or 2 fans who are watching this here,
The floor is
this
yours.
is one of the man who I chose to have one of the most wins of the year here, because he is young, he's a prospect, he's a Dagestani with good hands there, although he learned most of his wrestling while in England, to be perfectly
Yeah,
honest.
like how good is the wrestling
His
real?
wrestling is insane, though. If you've actually seen it there, he doesn't
This is
stick to you
English
like
wrestling, though. This is not Russian Dagestan wrestling. This is English wrestling.
if you've seen his wrestling, it's absolutely amazing the way he goes on you people. And he may be 6-0, but he has like a 24, 23 fight amateur career where he has no losses there. And he will just wrestle fuck them, or he'll submit them, or knock out a few. So he's a really well balanced person here. He's also like a national champion. He's absolutely well balanced in all aspects of the game here. Now, the reason why I chose him for my what do you call it? Fight, most wins of the year, is primarily because he's young. He's 21 years old. And I thought he would want to fight a lot this year. He's also in a lighter weight class, bantamweight, and it's full of savages. But I'm a little bit regretting that, because I forgot he's from England, and they tend to fight less per year. But I think this is his fight to dominate.
Well, how is Cody Durden's grappling? I actually have no idea.
He's a primary wrestler. If I remember, he got a draw one time because he just wrestle fucked a guy. No, he wrestle fucked a guy, I think, really badly in round 1 or 2, and the guy came back the next 2 rounds, so he got a 10-8. So
Okay.
if you think Cody Durden can stop the wrestling of Mohamed Mokaev, that might be the way you would say he'd win. But Cody Durden is a wrestler, but I just don't think as good as Mohamed.
No, I would agree with that, and I don't think Cody on this. Like, I don't think there's a gap on the feet that Cody can. Even if Mokaev can't take him down, and Cody can, like, I think Mokaev can hold his own on the feet just fine. Obviously, Lorenzo's a little more versed in Mokaev than us, but from what I've seen of him, he's impressive, and he's a problem. If he's 21, that's fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
and
That's part of the reason I was so high on Armin, because like that fight he had with Islam, he was like 22 years old. That's kind of crazy. Like that's younger than us. Like that's really weird. Like Mokaev being as young as he is, going on the tear. I don't want to say the tear, like because he's not
he's
really
born
beating
in the
anybody really.
2000s. Yeah,
But the fact that he's like 21 and already in the UFC and like getting fights against people who aren't the worst fighters in the world is something.
yeah. Cody Durden's a good test for him, like legitimately.
Definitely.
Okay. We want to get into our bets.
I wrestle fuck.
Okay,
I was
so
gonna
you
say
got
real quick, just to hit any more random picks we have on the card. I always like Mach 1 and Mirkani by submission, but there's no props out yet. So, but
Corey
when there are,
McCann by decision is a good one too.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mhm.
All right. You wanna do the bets?
Yeah. So I have Tom Aspinall minus 118, putting down 3 units on that.
Okay.
I have Arnold Allen minus 115, putting down 3.5 units on that. I have Krylov Pavlovich plus 107, putting 3 down on that. And I have Vargas moneyline plus 410, putting down half a unit on that. Now it's your turn.
All right, my turn. All right. Time to do the opposite of everything you just did. Ready? All right. I got Volkov on the money line plus 110, 3 units.
Okay.
I got Dan Hooker on the money line plus 100, 3 units.
Okay.
No, make that two. You put 4 on Volkov and 2 on Hooker because I'm not as confident.
Okay.
And then fuck it, we're gonna have fun with this card. Paul Craig money line, 3 units. Paul Craig
Really?
submission, fuck it, plus 420, 3 units.
Oh,
Fuck it.
that's not bad at all. That's a pretty ambitious bet.
3 units plus 420. And finally, I got one left, right?
Yeah.
If my math is correct, give me the Rodrigo Vargas money line plus 410 on DK.
Okay.
Lock
What?
me in, Rodrigo Vargas on the money line for 1 minute.
All right. Lorenzo.
Okay. I had Volkov money line 110. I have Mokaev, Topuria, McCann parlay at plus 129. I got Jack Shore at 106, and I got Paul Craig at 146 for the money line. Though I didn't realize his damn, I didn't realize he was that high of that high by submission. That's
That's
actually
why I changed it the last second. I was like, plus 420? Okay, never mind.
that is really attractive. But we'll keep
Switch
Paul
over.
Craig. Well, no, because he might win by TKO as well. So,
Because
um,
fuck me, you're right.
yeah. So all these are 2.5 units. You know,
All right.
cool.
There we go. This is Code Takes MMA. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Peace, y'all.